Hello, Chosen One. I am here to remind you about your faith. My dear, listen to me. The hidden powers wants to convey you a message. You might have been asking yourself about this. Why does it feel like everything I believed in is falling apart? You've cried, you've prayed, you've waited, and now everything is silent. But let me tell you something sacred. This silence is not absence. It's a divine pause before a spiritual eruption. And that number you've been seeing, 000, is no coincidence. This number is heaven's secret code, a signal from the divine realm. And it's come to tear your world down for a reason. Because, Chosen One, you prayed for divine power. Now you must survive divine disassembly. Welcome to the shattering. Welcome to your spiritual initiation. You're here because your faith is being tested beyond imagination. And I need you to know, this is not punishment. This is transformation. The number 000 is not a warning sign. It is the 0 point of your soul. The void before the voice. The collapse before the calling. It is the moment where heaven clears the ground of your old self, so that the real you can be built from the ruins. I know you're hurting. You don't recognize your life anymore. The things that used to make sense don't. The people you trusted vanished. The path that once looked clear completely fogged over. But pause for a second and listen. This is the sacred shattering. The chosen ones are always broken before they're built, because power cannot live where pride lives, purpose cannot thrive where ego hides, and divine identity cannot fit inside a mind controlled by fear. So the universe starts tearing things down, not to destroy you, but to empty you out, to hollow you, to prepare you for something unimaginably greater. Let's go deeper. What does it feel like when your faith is being shattered? It feels like waking up and not knowing what to pray anymore. It feels like begging God for answers and hearing nothing back. It feels like you're alone in a war you never volunteered for. And worst of all, it feels like maybe, just maybe, God has left you behind. But hear this, He hasn't. He's watching, quietly, patiently, painfully, as you become. The number Drew is a full reset in the language of the universe. It marks the end of your earthly identity. It's where illusions melt, ego dies, and you are forced to face the most terrifying truth of all. You are not who you thought you were. You see, the shattering is not just about loss. It's about revelation. When your old life crumbles, when your old friends disappear, when your mind feels like a battlefield, that's when your spirit starts to wake up. Because when there's nothing left to cling to, your soul finally begins to see, and what it sees is not weakness, not failure, not abandonment, but birth. Let me ask you, have you ever stood in the middle of your room, tears running down your face, looking up at the ceiling and whispering, God, what are you doing to me? That question is a prayer. And the answer is this: I'm rebuilding you. God doesn't build on shaky ground. He clears the space, he shakes the foundations, he breaks the false peace, he removes the idols, he exposes the lies you are living. And yes, it hurts. It's supposed to hurt, because the version of you that was surviving was never the version he created. So he breaks it, brick by brick, layer by layer, until all that's left is you and him. No noise, no distractions, no filters, just raw soul. That's where faith is born. Let me tell you something sacred. What's happening in your life right now isn't a breakdown, it's a cleansing. The number 000 is spiritual surgery. It's the moment when heaven pulls you aside and says, I'm about to remove everything that was never meant for your next chapter. So if it feels like you're losing your job, losing your relationships, losing your mind, losing your strength, pause, breathe. You're not losing, you're being liberated. Listen, chosen one. You've been asking for alignment. You've been praying for power. You've been begging for peace. But what if I told you that the path to peace goes through war? What if the alignment you're looking for can only happen after the shattering? You can't walk into your divine destiny while dragging dead weight behind you. So God burns it off, all of it, even the things you loved, even the people you thought you needed, because God doesn't answer prayers with comfort. He answers them with construction, and construction starts with destruction. Now hear me clearly. You're not broken, you're becoming. You're not abandoned. You're activated, you're not cursed, you're called. This is what it feels like to be chosen, not just chosen for blessings, but chosen for battle, chosen for legacy, chosen for leadership, chosen for light in a world full of shadows. And right now, this very moment, is the beginning of that path. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m., feeling waves of anxiety with no reason, seeing whoa on license plates, clocks, receipts, losing interest in things you used to love, you're not crazy. You're crossing over. You're being prepared for the next level of consciousness. The version of you that could live in ignorance is being shattered to make room for truth. The heart that could tolerate mediocrity is being burned for something bolder, and the spirit that once settled for survival is being summoned to lead. Let this truth pierce your soul. You are not here by accident. This video, this message, this very moment is the signal. Your old world is collapsing, so your divine world can rise. You are being shattered because you are sacred, and soon you will rise, not as the old you, not as the broken you, but as the version that was hidden beneath the pain all along. Chosen one, you didn't get the easy road. You never did. While others were laughing, you were healing. While they celebrated, you were silent. While they moved forward, you were stuck in a wilderness, wondering why your journey felt like a punishment. Let me tell you something that will shake your soul. You were never meant for the easy way. Because the easy way doesn't create warriors. The easy path doesn't reveal divine souls. The The easy path isn't for the chosen. You were marked, not just marked to survive, but to carry weight that others couldn't, to handle storms that would have broken them, to endure delays, denials, betrayals, breakdowns, so that your spirit could be forged, not just formed. You were chosen for the hard path because there's a crown waiting at the end of it, and heaven doesn't give crowns to people who can't carry crosses. Let's go deeper. When you were younger, you may have felt like the outcast, too different, too emotional, too intense. You didn't fit in, you saw too much, you felt too much, you didn't just see the world, you sensed it. That was never a flaw. That was a sign, because chosen ones are not wired like the rest. They feel in dimensions others don't understand. They hurt where others numb. They notice what others ignore. And that makes them seem strange, misunderstood, unpredictable. But in truth, it makes them sacred. The pain you've carried was preparation. God does not assign power without process, and the process hurts. Let me say that again. The process hurts. It strips you, it isolates you, it puts you face to face with your fears, your shame, your silence, and it shows you who you are without all the masks. Because before God can give you influence, He must give you identity, not the identity the world gave you, not the image you built to survive, but the truth of your soul, the real you. That's why your life has been so heavy, because you've been carrying more than most. And still, you didn't break. You questioned. You cried. You collapsed, but you got back up. You kept praying. You kept believing, even if it was just a whisper in the dark. God, please, don't let this be the end of me. And guess what? He heard it. That whisper was your offering. That breakdown was your rebirth. And that moment, when you thought you lost everything, was when you gained the truth you were built for more. You see, the number 0 comes in moments of total breakdown, because that's when you're ready to walk away from illusion. It doesn't show up when life is comfortable. It shows up when you are spiritually raw, ready to lose everything false in order to find everything real. You were marked for the hard path so that you would stop looking outside for your worth and start discovering your power within. Let me ask you, what if your delays were divine timing? What if your rejections were redirections? What if the people who walked away were removed to protect your purpose? You didn't lose them. They lost access to the upgraded version of you. Because chosen ones don't stay stuck. They rise. And when they rise, they outgrow. So don't envy the ones with easy lives. Don't compare your battle scars to someone else's comfort, because those who are chosen must first be crushed, so they can carry light. Your spiritual pain has purpose. Your broken road has meaning. Your hard path is not proof of punishment. It's proof of your assignment. And every hardship you've endured is shaping you into someone the world has never seen. Let me end this section with a reminder. The weight you carry is heavy because your calling is holy. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to awaken. This path isn't about punishment. It's about preparation. God is preparing you to do what others can't, to lead where others follow, to shine where others hide. And though it hurts now, your pain is prophecy. Say, road is hard, but it leads to something divine, and you're not walking it alone. Chosen one, let's be honest. You've reached the breaking point more than once. You've sat in silence, wondering if your faith meant anything at all. You prayed with tears in your eyes, and still the heavens stayed silent. You felt shattered, not just in spirit, but in soul. But listen closely. What shattered was never your faith. It was your expectation of how God was supposed to move. You expected him to move fast, to deliver comfort, to bring peace before the pain. But instead, he brought stillness. He brought delay. He brought you face to face with yourself. That was never abandonment. It was a divine setup. Because when your expectations collapse, your soul is finally ready to receive the truth. And here it is. The God who seemed silent was busy building your spirit. The purpose that felt lost was being buried deep in your bones. The power you begged for was already awakening within you, in every breakdown, every betrayal, every silent night. Your shattered faith was the very soil where real faith began. Not the kind of faith that depends on results, but the kind that endures without them. The kind of faith that walks in fire and still believes in heaven. Thousand is not a signal of destruction. It's the code for divine reset. It means everything you knew is over. Now I'm making something new through you. God is not done with you. He is beginning through you. Your life isn't ruined, it's being rewritten. And the ink he's using is made of your tears, your prayers, your perseverance. So don't give up now. Your pain was not pointless. Your silence was not wasted. Your confusion was not failure. It was formation. You are being transformed from doubter to believer, from seeker to servant, from broken soul to spiritual warrior. Chosen one, you passed the test even when you didn't know it was happening. You didn't quit. You didn't run. You kept showing up to your own becoming. That's why this moment matters. Because right here, right now, you're not the same person you were when this video began. You are wiser. You are stronger. You are more spiritually awakened. You've tasted suffering. But now, you're ready for sovereignty. You've felt forgotten. But now, you remember your divine assignment. And if you've seen 000 recently, it's heaven's confirmation that the old version of you is done. Now comes the rise. So what now? You walk forward, not with fear, but with fire in your soul. Because you are no longer waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are no longer praying for the light. You carry the light, and you are no longer asking, why me? Now, you declare, because I was chosen, because I was built for this, because I'm not just surviving, I'm rising. If this message shook your soul, if it reminded you of your power, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below, I was chosen. My faith will rise again. Let's fill this space with spiritual warriors rising together. Let your voice awaken someone else's soul. And if you're walking through the testing stage, remember, God's silence is not his absence. Your shattered faith is not the end. It's the beginning of your divine story. You've got this, chosen one. Now rise.